Welcome to our official rebrand executive AMA. Before we start, if everyone can introduce themselves.
Hi, it's Harry, CEO of Forj.
Hi, Rob, COO of Forj.
I'm Chaz, CMO of Forj.
Hi, I'm Terrence, the CTO of Forj.
And I'm Christina, the Chief of Staff of Forj. If you're watching this, it means that Bonnley has officially gone through its rebrand to the very new and exciting Forj. We understand that this will raise a number of questions, so we wanted to dedicate an AMA specifically for that. So let's get started. Harry, why is the company rebranded?
Yes, we want a brand that can reflect our vision and our values. We have been a part of so many incredible movements in the NFT space. And we have grown into a company that's really focused extending beyond that confines Bonnley Finance. We have never been more ready to connect with the new audiences that's looking for a stronger connection to their favorite creators, introduce them to the possibilities of Web3 and metaverses. And this rebrand allows us to have a smoother onboarding experiences with Web2 brands and Web2 agency. Really like the Forj names, and since then we're able to have new partnerships, it's going very well.
Thank you, Harry. Rob, if you can answer this one. Was the rebrand requested or instigated through your relationship with Animoca?
I would say it was suggested as part of our refocus under them. I mean, as a subsidiary of Animoca, we have naturally taken into consideration how our brand and our strategic focus fits into the wider Animoca ecosystem. Bonnley Finance was launched, as a focus on NFTs and how they could be utilized across multiple financial products as well as consumer products. Now, as part of Animoca, one of the world's most influential Web3 and gaming companies, we have an opportunity to expand beyond that. And this refocus reflects this.
Thank you. Harry, again, was the rebrand a way to distance ourselves from Bonnley?
Yes. So not at all. In fact, the decision to rebrand took many months, since almost 4 or 5 months from now. We have a strong reputation within the audience that we have acquired across a number of major artists and partners. And this rebrand will always lead to some loss of brand recognition and association with our success. If the objective is to distance ourselves from the event of summer 2021, we would have changed our name much sooner. Instead, this rebrand is well considered and professionally executed to move to a more future-proof for us to emerge in a mass market opportunity, especially in Web3 and NFT metaverse adoption.
Thank you. Chaz, who helped the rebrand?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, a project like this is a major undertaking, and we wouldn't look to do something quite this big and vast alone. And we actually had the help of some incredible partners, so industry leaders and brand experts who have worked across major brands, including Uber, Disney, Coca-Cola, Wrigley's, and AT&T, among others. AT&T, the mobile network as well. So, we worked with some incredible brand strategists, and our brand designer as well, logo expert, is someone who has been so heavily involved across some of those brands I've just mentioned, and it was a privilege to have that kind of expertise working with us on this, and we're really proud with what we came up with.
And again, with you, Chaz, why Forj?
Why Forge? Great question. It's really it boils down to the meaning behind the word. So we come up with quite a few different names and potential options, and some of which we liked, some of which didn't quite make the cut in the end. And we got to the point where it was mentioned, that the word Forge was one that had such synergy with creation, which is ultimately so much of what we do in regards to NFT and Web3 technology, but alongside partnership as well. And the idea of forging relationships or partnerships and the strength of partnership between fan and creator is something that we've always been focused on and looking to reinforce even more going forward into this kind of new era where we hope to have a greater adoption of Web3 technology. So the word Forge is one that we thought of, but considered, F-O-R-G-E was too widely used. Obviously, the word Forge is, you're not going to get a very strong result in search. And actually, F-O-R-J is the phonetic spelling of Forge. So if you were to look in a dictionary of how do you say the word Forge, F-O-R-J is the way that they would spell the phonetic word for that. So we thought that really stood out. It resonated. It still captured everything that Forge was, but allowed us to also basically win a bit more on organic search and also to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. So love the name, love the word, and we hope that it's something that really conveys the values of our new brand as well.
While I have you on the word, what about the negative connotations of the word Forge?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. We had a couple of people mention that, and it is something we considered. The reality is, it's almost a play on the word as well, because as everybody knows, you can't technically forge an NFT, and obviously you can create copies, etc. But in many respects, it's almost a bit of an irony that if anyone was to draw that connotation, there's nothing that can be done to realistically forge an NFT. So it's something that we don't feel in any way negatively impacts on what we're looking to do, and actually the more positive correlation with creativity, partnership, and forging ahead as well. Of course, the idea of breaking new grounds, it was too strong a synergy to abandon the word just because of the one potentially slightly negative connotation.
Thank you. Rob, what will the extent of the rebrand include?
We want to completely change how our partners and community engage with us, as well as fully renaming the brand and upgrading the look and feel of the technical products. So we will have a brand new website and new content available weekly.
Terence, what will happen to the Bondly token?
Wow, okay. What will happen in Bondly token? That's a really good question. Well, currently there's actually no plans to rename our token or make any changes to the tokenomics of Bondly. However, should this be the case in the future, we will ensure our partners have sufficient notice and support when we do it.
Great, thank you. And back to you, Chaz. How will the rebrand benefit the community?
Yeah, so this is one that's come up a few times in the community, and it's obviously a really great question. So the important thing to remember is ultimately the future of this space is in adoption. We want to attract new audiences, new ecosystems, and we want to attract better partners, bigger partners. Obviously, we have some incredible partners already, but thinking ahead to the future as well, more businesses will be looking to get into this space, and we want a brand that reflects the opportunity. And Bondly Finance obviously has strong connotations with financial products. It doesn't sound perhaps quite as sexy as Forge in respect of being more of a lifestyle brand. So ultimately, how does this benefit the community? Because a more successful, thriving project, which has longevity, which has mass audience adoption and attraction at the heart of it, is going to be therefore better off for everybody, including the community. So, and we hope to also attract a more vibrant community from all the additional audiences we'll be targeting through this rebrand as well. So you can expect to see some changes there over the coming months.
Amazing, thank you. And Terence, another one for you. How will the rebrand affect the price of the token and NFTs?
Well, the evolution from Bondly to Forge is really a strategic move, and it's been designed to allow us to accommodate new waves of consumer adoption for NFT and blockchain technologies. The growth of our ecosystem, I think it will be positive for the growth of the projects in the long term, but the impact on tokens or NFT prices isn't something that we can control.
Amazing, thank you. Chaz, what will happen to BCCG?
Yeah, so as we've said a number of times, BCCG holders are, they are clearly some of the most important community members we have. They are the ones who are there from the start, and the ones that we clearly will always value. The BCCG series itself, naturally, you've seen the kind of look and feel of Forge and what we're trying to achieve, and it's pretty clear that the BCCG cards don't necessarily represent our brand in everything we're looking to achieve there, and clearly there will need to be some degree of change there. So we'll be announcing a bit more detail around what this means. Ultimately, the important thing to remember if you're a BCCG holder is there's not going to be any change that leads to a reduction in the amount of utility or your importance in the ecosystem. But yes, we will be looking at the series and ultimately where it fits in our brand, and we'll announce more details on that in the coming weeks.
Thank you. Harry, what will happen to Poker Pets?
Yeah, so for Poker Pets, we remain the same, business as usual. Actually, in addition, this rebrand provides us with additional opportunities to onboard more Web3 brands and projects that enable us to have a more metaverse experience and identity for them.
Thank you. Will there be a Forge Poker Pet? And what will happen to Bond Swap, Chaz?
Yeah, so we will absolutely consider releasing a Forge pet in future. That's something that we're looking into. We'll also announce more detail as and when that's relevant too. In regards to Bond Swap and our legacy poker pets, so we've got Bond Swap, Bond Protect, and Bond X. We've made the decision not to amend those or alter those actually, because they're such a key part of the history of poker pets, and they're their own characters in their own right, and we still think they're an integral part of the collection. So we won't be making any updates to those characters, but as we mentioned, there may well be the release of an additional Forge pet in future.
Thank you. What will happen to Launchpad, Terence?
Well, for the time being, our Launchpad will be referred to as the Forge Launchpad, and of course, we will be reviewing the product in the near future to see how it can best fit our future direction.
Amazing, thank you. Harry, what will happen to MetaPrints?
Yeah, so same price management for Poker Pets. The operations business strategy remain the same. Like we have also closed a few new changes. For now, we have over 300,000 people sign up for the wireless. So yeah, remain the same.
Thank you. Terence, back to you. What will happen to our other Bondly Tech products?
Well, of course, they will be rebranded temporarily, but we plan to evaluate our current product offering to see how to ensure that they're going to fit our future direction and focus. One big thing regarding the name that I love about it is the word Forge, because it inspired me to really come up with an idea called the Forge Factory, where we'll be able to turn out products and services and actually create it almost like a factory where we just press a button and be able to launch new products and services that really bring value and to our clients and our customers. And I think you're really going to be happy with what you see coming down the pike in the next 6 to 12 months. But that's all I'm going to say for now.
Love it. It's really exciting. Have changes been made to the organizational structure of what was Bondly, now it's Forge? We've actually made a huge number of exciting internal changes since the rebrand. The main one being around focusing on our team experience, how they experience the day-to-day, our values, and just really improving our onboarding process as well, and focusing a lot more on bringing the team together, focusing on education. You'll also notice over the coming months some new additions to the team. We've spent quite a lot of time finding some really top talent to come in and join the team, specifically that we believe will have an incredible impact on our product and on our community. So very excited. Check out our LinkedIn to see who's joining us soon or who might be appearing on our AMAs in the future. Rob, has the ownership structure of Forj changed?
Good question. And yes, it has. We've recently completed a seed round investment with two well-known and large VCs. Unfortunately, I can't say much more about this until we do a press release. But one thing I should clarify is that we remain a subsidiary of Animoca at this point in time.
Thank you. We also just did want to let you know if anyone had any other follow-up questions from the brand that we haven't had time or been able to address, where you can direct those questions. And Chaz, I think you can answer that question for us.
Yeah, of course. Naturally, our community channels are the first place to go. So we have a really strong community management team. We'll be happy to help. But if you wanted to email us, you're welcome to at help@forj.network. Of course, it's worth checking out our new website as well, forj.network, where there'll be a lot of information, some great content. So a great place to go to find out more about us and some of the great things that we do and that are up and coming. One of the great hires that Christina's mentioned is we have a senior content person now on my team who is making sure that our website is kept up to date and is basically best in class. So we're really pushing on making sure that we have as much great content as possible for our community and for our potential customers as well. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that.
Amazing, thank you. Unless anyone has anything that they want to add outside of the questions, that concludes our AMA. Anyone have anything?
Nope.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you everyone again, as always, for listening. We always really appreciate you participating in watching our AMAs, asking questions, interacting with our CM team. It really gives us a really good scope and lens on what information we can give to you guys and also how we can improve things behind the scenes. So we will see you all next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.